Hey, it's Laura Stylez from the Hot
On your hot 9-7 every day, that's my work.
Hey guys, welcome to Improper Etiquette. Hey, my name is Laura Stylez. I
want to just run through a bunch of big moments in the culture from this past year, and just get your quick thoughts on them.
Okay.
Number one.
Shoot.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Lemonade and all the crazy amount of controversy connected to Becky with the good hair.
Right.
What did you think of that? Did you get caught up in it?
Well, I never get caught up in anything because I feel like I know I have a different view on it because I'm in the inside, so I know a lot of what's going on. I love the Lemonade album. I love Beyonce. I think she's an incredible artist, and I fell in love with her to be honest with you, I fell in love with Beyonce later on. I'm not gonna sit here. I wasn't a Beyonce fan from the very beginning. Like I remember Destiny's Child was cool. Oh, it was cute, but it wasn't really my thing. Like I wasn't running to a Destiny's Child concert. Like it was never me. But when I saw Beyonce perform live is when she really did it for me. Like that woman puts on a show. Like she's just
Where did you see
awesome.
her live?
When it was on the Run tour, that was my first time seeing her perform in a concert. I think it was at was it the Barclays Center? Madison, I don't remember. It gets a little cloudy for me, but I think that's the first time I saw her show. I saw her pop out in other, you know what I mean, in other places, but never like her own production. So it was really dope. And you know what? The internet loves to speculate. They love to feel like they have, the answer to everything or the inside scoop, I mean, listen, I personally think that Beyonce is a human being and she goes through shit like everyone else does, okay? But it was definitely a concept album and it was different for her because think about it, from the difference from her last album to this album, it was the first time she's really being a little bit more honest. With Beyonce, when she dropped that, she was a little bit more sexier, more edgier. Like we never saw that side of her before. So now she stepped it up where she is opening up a little bit more. Every person, I'm not even gonna say just women, every person can relate to cheating, infidelity, because we've all been through it in one way or another. So it was interesting, and she's a master at her craft, so she put on a good story. So, and she, and she connects with the audience, and I felt like people took it a bit far. What was really foul was when they started like bullying like Rachel Roy and her children. I thought that was really like unnecessary, but then again, nothing surprises me with the internet. People bully babies.
Yeah.
Like they come for anyone nowadays. It's like no one's safe. So,
no one is
but
safe.
I thought that part was ridiculous. Like, I don't know. When I see people become heartless and just, come for people's children and the whole like cyberbullying thing is like, it's so whack to me.
Yeah. I think everybody agrees with that.
Yeah.
They still are out there like crazy. All right, next up is ASAP and the Black Lives Matter controversy. What's your take on that?
I mean, I love ASAP Rocky, but I feel like it's weird because I feel like I definitely feel that Rocky cares about social issues. He might not care as much to publicly be, how can I put this? Like, be super, like, I don't think he wants to be the one that's at the forefront of fighting, like, these causes, right? But, listen, we all grow and we all make mistakes, and I'm not the same person I was last week. So, I'm not excusing him, but he's definitely, said some loose shit on the internet, and a lot of people have. And then, I remember, who was it? SZA had said something, like, she tweeted something about Rihanna, like, years ago, and people were quick to dig those tweets up and be like, oh yeah, but now you're on Rihanna's album. And she came out and said it. At the time, I was broke and miserable and working at a store, and I was miserable with my life, and that's how I felt at the time. Doesn't mean I don't love and respect Rihanna, and I'm super thankful of where I am in my career right now. So I don't really like, artists do have a responsibility and should be aware sometimes about like how much, any little thing they say is going to resonate with everyone else. But at the same time, they're human beings, dude, and we all make mistakes. So deep down, I feel like Rocky does care, and in his own way, but like I told you, everybody makes mistakes.
Okay. Now, we had in July, Kanye and Kim versus Taylor. that was pretty crazy, where Kim revealed on Snapchat
Yeah.
their conversation. What did you think of that?
God, it's so soap opera. It's such a soap opera, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what's crazy is that I think it actually kind of made me smile that Kim was so bold to be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to put this on Snapchat because I'm sick and tired of people coming for my man. So I thought it was kind of, I like the fact that she really wanted to stand up for Kanye. Because, you know, everybody attacks Kanye. You know, everybody always comes for him. And the fact that there was actual footage and she showed proof that, you know, like Taylor is not everybody's little angel like people perceive her to be. I believe that there was a conversation. Maybe certain words were, like, because Taylor claims there was a conversation, but she says the word bitch wasn't mentioned in it, and that's what really bothered her. I think it's bullshit. I think that once it came out and people were looking at her, really, are you going to let this man talk to you that way? That's when she probably changed her mind. That's just my take on it. I could be wrong.
Okay. Now we're going to come into Hot 97 because you guys had your own share of controversy this summer.
We always do.
Ebro versus Yachty, and your take on the concept of rap purity and lyricism versus...
To say it's like verses it's a bit much, right? Because it's like we invited Yachty to come up to the show, and just to see what he was all about. You know, he has like his own little movement or whatever, and Ebro actually likes Yachty. So it's not that he doesn't like Yachty, but he challenges him. And I don't think a lot of people challenge publicly, like challenge him like that, you know? So there's this whole like weird, you know, Ebro doesn't support the youth. And that's not true. But he is a firm believer of like you should know your roots and you should do your research on your history of where you come from. And, you know, people who sacrifice so much to be able to give you a platform and for hip-hop music, the culture in general. But listen, I think that Yachty is special in his own way, and there's a reason why all these young kids follow him and they love him. I mean, there was a time where all of us, like, listened to certain artists that everybody else was like, why are you listening to that garbage? You know, we've all been through that. If you really think about it and put yourself in where were we when we were 18? You know what I mean? So that's why, to me, it's like, listen, I know that for the rap purists, they hate listening to that cloud rap or whatever it is that he does. They feel like they don't respect his rhymes. But I feel like at the time where we loved certain elements of music, people looked at us like, how dare you like Lil Kim's hardcore album? That woman is filthy and she's talking about this and this and that, you know, talk about sucking dick or whatever. And we're over here blasting it and being like, yes, this is, you know, girl power. I love the fact that Kim is so raw and so open, and she's speaking about these things that we talk about behind the scenes, you know. But to other people, they were like, they looked at it as garbage, you know. So it's like generations, man. It's different.
So you do think it's it's somewhat generational?
Yeah, it could be. But like I said, at the end of the day, like Ebro doesn't not like Yachty, and that's like a big misconception, I think. But I feel like he feels like, and I agree with him, sometimes certain artists needs to be challenged. Are you kidding me? Do you know how many people like? We have millions of views on that interview. Yeah. You know, good and bad.
Right.
But it's thought-provoking, which is important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody ever saw Yachty in that light before, you know? So.
Yeah, and I think that's a tradition within radio, too. You're not, like, when you're a new artist, you're going to come in and be somewhat challenged, you know?
Well, people just want to know more.
Yeah.
And we're just going to ask questions for things that we don't understand. So you should be prepared for that, you know?
Yeah.
That's all it really is, but it's nothing negative.
Yeah, I don't see it as negative either. It's dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next Hot 97 controversy that was probably even bigger than that was the whole thing with Drake, Ebro, Complex, Funkmaster Flex, Rosenberg, and you were involved too. I think maybe I'm kind of curious about your sort of thoughts on the content of the lyrics for Drake.
Well, I'm not going to speak on the Flex situation because he has his own, you know, his own beef with Drake. But when it comes to us, I don't even like speaking about this because it was something so dumb that just really got taken out of context. But it was started off as like a conversation that Ebro had with Drake and other artists that were in the room. And we're very honest and transparent on the air. So when we talked about it, me and Ebro talked about it on the air because we were all in Toronto. And I had left the night before, so he stayed there an extra night to go to the Summer 16 tour concert. And that's where he had his conversation with Drake backstage or whatever. Of course, I asked him the question of, like, what did you guys talk about backstage? What happened? And we were very open about it. But I will say that it was a slow news day. A lot of the bloggers kind of took his words and twisted them, and people were calling Ebro a liar, and he didn't lie. Mm-hmm. He was honest about the conversation. I understand why Drake was mad of him even bringing up that conversation, but at the same time, Ebro felt that it wasn't anything crazy. Like, it was just a conversation, and people took it like, Ebro confirms Eminem beef, which it wasn't even like that. If you really listen to everything that he said it was a rumor, whatever. The blogs took it and turned it into something else.
Okay.
It is what it is. And then I bet you Drake never even listened to the audio of the conversation that we had on the air. And then he got his feelings hurt, goes on stage and says that they're telling lies on Hot 97, which sucks because we all love Drake. Mm-hmm. Like, we love him. Like, yeah. I love him, and we're not going to stop playing his music. You know what I mean? So it sucked because we were like, what? And my beef with Complex was this. Because, of course, I'm going to get texts and people telling me what's going on. They tweeted, Drake is on Madison Square Garden saying, fuck Hot 97. So I said, okay, cool. I want to hear it because I don't believe anyone until I hear the audio. I got audio of everything else, telling lies about me on Hot 97. I told them I wouldn't go up there until they fire Flex, which is true. Mm-hmm. He did say that, and Ebro said that on the air. We made a joke out of it because I said, okay, so when's Drake coming to our show? He's like, nope. He said he's not coming here until we fire Flex, so I guess that's not going to happen. And we laughed about it. You know what I mean? So my beef with Complex is that if you're a reputable music outlet, you should be a bit more responsible of the things you put out because they started that rumor and it went thousands of retweets and And what's sad is that other publications didn't even double check or facts, which nobody does anymore, which is sad. But so on the air, I was vocal about it, because I was like, you should be a bit more responsible. And then later on, hours later after our show, they released a statement backtracking. So it's just so stupid. The whole thing is like high school.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Hopefully we can get past it. And we've been through, issues with other artists before. We still love Drake.
Okay.
I do.
All right, so now the latest, and this is something you reported on today.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing story. It'll probably be past us by the time this airs, but Chris Brown and the SWAT team.
Yeah, man.
What do you think of that?
I mean, it's tough because, look, I feel like I love Chris Brown, and I want him to, I'm always rooting for him. And I just feel like sometimes he's caught up in I don't know if it's in the hype of I wish he would just sit down sometimes and not always have to be in every single mix. But I have to remember that he's young too, He's young and successful. But this time around, I feel like he was caught up in something that's unfortunate. The woman claims that he pulled out a gun on her, asking her to leave the house. And this is what we're learning. And then I think it was she was there with a friend of his. Mm-hmm. He asked her to leave, didn't want to leave. So when he was forcing her to leave, he pulled out the gun. Some people say Chris was sleeping at the time. That never happened. So it's a lot of he said, she said. SWAT team, which is I think is a bit unnecessary to have a SWAT team. And he was really vocal about it on Instagram. But
it's a developing story.
It certainly is. The girl ends up being running to TMZ and wanting to tell her side of the story. Look, it looks like it's a mess.
It does look
it's
very
a mess.
messy.
And I hope that the truth comes out. But either way, what's going to happen? They're going to end up paying her out so she can shut up and it could just go away. And at the end of the day, she's going to win because she's going to walk out with a payout. I bet you that's what's going to happen. I hope Chris doesn't go to jail over something like this. But I don't know, man. It's just unfortunate because he was doing so good. We were even happy about it. We were like, look, I haven't reported any Chris Brown stories in a minute, which makes me happy. But it sucks, man. It's such a horrible situation to be in because I know he was just battling, custody in court with his child, and it's unfortunate.